Hi everyone, Lisa here from LC Designs. Welcome to Workshop Wednesday. I am back from my camping trip. We had an amazing time. It was a last minute decision to go camping, but luckily it's not too far from here. We went up to Taos, New Mexico. We have some family and friends that have a ranch up there, and so that's where we go. So today we're gonna make, let me do all my business. So what's the business? Share my video. When you share my video, you'll be entered into a prize drawing. I did not draw a winner for last week, so I will, I think I have a stamp set I'll give away. I'm not sure. I didn't even pull the prize. I'm still trying to play catch up. I've had a lot to do since I got home. So when you share my video, you'll be entered into a prize drawing for a prize, which this week will be a stamp set. And then last week was another embossing folder. And then if you want the PDF tutorial for today's project, I will email it to you on Friday. And if you're not on my email list, you need to join my email list to get this. So I think that's it. So the other day I was at Walmart, you know, my favorite store because it's the closest to us. And I seen all these little bottles of different Frank's Red Hot. You know, we use this when we make our wings. But they had these different ones, and then they had some Tabasco ones. Tabasco is the one that I put in here. So there's this one's salsa picante, and this one's sriracha. So that's what I had put into my original one that I made. And this is a cute little thing for Father's Day. And look, it went perfect kind of with our us camping. We sat by the campfire quite a bit. It was actually kind of cold there. It's funny, well, because we're so high up, we're at like 10,000 feet elevation. We're at 5,000. So here we were like 80 something degrees when we left, and we got up there and it was pretty cool. So luckily we keep our clothes in our trailer, and I had some winter clothes. But this is like a little gift bag that, you can make for your dad, brother, husband, whoever, for a little Father's Day treat. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. These were $1 each. And on my PDF, I include a link to where you could click onto it and find them at Walmart. So I went online to make sure that they had them. So let's go ahead and start. And of course, I just dropped a piece of paper that I might need. I'm not sure. I might not need it. But we're going to use crumb cake. And we're going to start out with, actually we need 4 pieces of 4 by 6. So what we could do is we could cut this way at 6. And then let's go 4, 4. And then we'll cut this at 6 again. So you're going to need 2 sheets. I don't know why earlier I thought I managed it differently. So 4 and 4. Now these are each going to play a different role. So 4 pieces of crumb cake that are 4 by 6. And I'm going to grab my Simply Score because we're going to need this. And okay, let's do the box. So I'm calling this bottom section here a box because we're actually making a box for them to go into. So on one of the pieces, we're going to score all 4 sides at 1 inch. So 1 inch. 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. Okay, so let's move that aside. Now, our next piece, we're going to score it all at 1 inch, but we're going to use a shim. And a shim, I just put 6 Post-its together. And then what I do is I put a mini glue dot. You can tell I've used this several times. I got glue dots. I put a mini glue dot to kind of hold it in place. But if you can hold it and score at the same time, that's fine. And all that's going to do is just give us a little bit of a, you know, gap so that this, look, mine's not sticking. Let me grab a new glue dot. I probably need a fresh glue dot because who knows how long that glue dot's been on there. But it's just going to give us a little bit of a smaller gap so that it'll fit right over the box. So we're going to use our shim and we're going to score all 4 sides at 1. So it's, if you try to do like a 1/16 off, it still kind of comes a little bit big. So the 6 Post-its is good. Okay, so then, so we want to make sure the one that we use the shim on, I'll move this away because our other ones we're going to score, but just not yet. So this is the one that we use the shim on. So the shim, that piece, we're going to die cut our holes for the bottom, for the bottles of hot sauce. So this center section here is where we're going to put our holes. So you know me, I eyeball. But I actually have 2 sets of dies. So I'm going to do both of mine at once just to save us a little bit of time. And those look pretty good. But you would just die cut one and then die cut the other in that center section. If you only have 1 set of dies. These dies, I actually have 4 sets because I use these a lot. So to do 4. So that's what it's going to look like. And let's get this back out of the way. So now what we're going to do, I guess I should look to see if there's any comments. You guys tell me hello. Hi, Heather. You're going to need a couple of these. Well, then you better start making them. So we're going to score, you know, well, we already scored. So now we're going to burnish all our lines. And these are just gonna, we're going to make our box. You score your lines with your, or you burnish your lines with your bone folder and you get some nice crisp lines. So with our paper snips, we're just going to snip all of these corners like so, and they don't have to be perfect because these are actually kind of hidden, but mine are never the same because I don't know how to cut the same. If I wanted to cut something exactly the same, I'd probably have to do it on the trimmer. So we're going to do this to all 4 corners on both pieces because again, these are our box. And I created the box just to give it like more support for those. Even though they're mini hot sauces, you know, they do weigh. So it's not like you're putting chocolates in it. And then another thing, if you don't have a die, the circle on the bottom here is like 1.5 inches. I had a 1.5 inch punch, but I couldn't, there's no way I could punch the hole without, you know, cutting these sides. So if you have, like we used to have the layering circle dies, if you had a 1.5, that would be great because this is a little bit loose. The bottles sit loose, but when we make our packaging for it, it holds them in there well. But we don't have, let me get my little clothespins. We don't have a 1.5 circle punch currently. And I was going through all my dies to try and find one. Even those round ones we have, I can't think of the name of them. They're kind of like a lopsided circle, but there still wasn't one even being lopsided. There wasn't one that would fit the bottles in. So that one that I use for the stylish shapes is the third to the smallest. And they had a bunch of, so we're going to do the same thing with this one. They had a bunch of different sauces, actually, when I was looking online today, because I wanted to make sure that you guys would be, if your local store didn't have them or you don't have a Walmart near you, you could order them. And so they had like some sweet and sour sauces. They were shaped different, so your circles might have to be different, you know, a different size circle. But you just find out which is going to work best for you. But they did. I think they had some barbecue sauces. Trying to think what else. I remember seeing sweet and sour, and like a Asian chili sauce. So there were a lot of different things. All right, so we're gonna let these dry, but this is just gonna fit over this in a bit. We're gonna just let them dry. So now these pieces, our other two 4x6 pieces are, and this one I'm gonna have to do the trimmer because I think my score lines are so little that on the Simply Score, I don't know about the eighths. Okay, so this one we're gonna score at 4 5/8. Get my, this is 4 5/8, and then 4 7/8. So it's just like a 1/4 of an inch in between there. So the same thing, 4 5/8, which is on the trimmer, it's 2 lines after the half. And then 4 7/8, which is 2 lines before the 5-inch. So we just have that 1/4 inch, like I said. And then these are gonna be folded mountain and then valley. So there's your mountain and then there's your valley. But we're gonna, since I have the trimmer out, we'll cut our designer series paper. So I'm using the Country Woods. This is one of my favorite designer series papers, and I don't use it often enough. It's got that country, well, it's called Country Woods, so the country feel to it. So I wanted to use the wood one. So these, we're going to need 2 pieces that are going to be 4 3/8. So 4 3/8, which is the 2 lines before the half again. So 4 3/8 by 3 7/8, the 2 lines before the 4, 3 7/8, and 3 7/8. So those 2, and then we're gonna need the 3 7/8 only by 1 inch. So 1 inch and 3 7/8. Today, this needs to be 3 7/8, and then 3 7/8. And I apologize for my nails. Like I said, we just got back from camping, and mine got, it's funny, I got all kinds of cuts all over me. I don't know, I'm cut all over the place, but I didn't have time to do my nails. Okay, so these are our pieces, and we are going to, we're going to put them on these. So again, mountain, so that's a mountain, and then fold it up for a valley. We're just kind of starting this. Ooh, all of a sudden the sun came in here. Hold on a second. Let me, there. Sorry about that. All of a sudden the sun popped out. So these bigger pieces are going to go here. And of course, I cut them the wrong direction, but that's okay. I mean, it's just how you want your grain. My other one I did this way. These are going to go a long way. And I knew I would probably See, look at that paper. Even the back side is so pretty, even though it's like rustic. I like rustic, especially after being camping. Uh-oh, here's where these are going to be the wrong way. They're going to be the wrong. So you know what? I have to cut them. No, I can't even cut them that way. Okay, hold on. We'll figure that one out. All because I cut them the wrong. So you have to pay attention to the direction of your pattern. I mean, this is fine. I actually like the way that this looks, but I want my top to match. I don't want it to be. So let's grab this again with our trimmer, and our lines are going to go this way, right? So then that means we got to cut it this way. So we're going to cut it at 1 inch. And then we're going to cut that, 3 7/8. So just pay attention to the direction of your designer series paper, because our other ones, the stripes wouldn't have matched. So your wood grain would not match. See, these would be going that way. We want them to go up and down like this. And I should have did that one over there and this one here. So now these are going to go on the top. Pretty easy. And put this one. Everyone say hello. Let us know where you're at and where you're from. And there's just a few more days for the starter kit special. And I cannot tell you guys enough about it because it's such a great deal. If you want all the Stampin' blends or stock up on cardstock, this is the time to do it because you get $165. So see, now this is going to fit over here, and there's our box. Just like that. If you want, you can glue it, but it's not going to go anywhere. And then our hot sauces would fit in. So back to the starter kit special because it's such an amazing deal. If you're making smash burger, right? You know what? I got Dad a Blackstone for his birthday, so we could have smash burgers. So I'm all over the place. So this piece, we're gonna glue these to the bottom here, just like so. And the starter kit special, like I said, so you can get $165 in product for $99 plus free shipping. I think the shipping is over a 10% discount as well. And then of course you'll get a free paper pumpkin kit, some business supplies, and so there is our box. We can put our little hot sauces in, and these are gonna match up like so. So I needed to make that little tiny thing just so that it would hit the top of these bottles and kind of hold them in place. That's why I told you they weren't gonna go anywhere. So what we're gonna do is a standard hole punch, and we could take these out so I could show you. So you're just gonna wanna line yours up together, and I eyeball everything, but in my instructions, I said to do it like about a 1/2 inch in. I don't even know if that's a 1/2 inch, but that's where I'm going. But just line them up and then punch your holes. And then I have to sneeze. Oh. So we're going to use some of the jute twine, and I'm using the Pebble Pack one. Now this string is like, or trim is like so curly from being on the roll. I was trying to straighten it out. Anybody got some good ideas? You know what I did with this one? I hung it. It's been hanging so that I the weight would pull on it. So we're gonna thread this through. And actually I kind of want my knot to be in the, back. So we're gonna go this way, start in the back, thread it through. These make little cute little gifts. And then just kind of figure out how big is your handle. Uh-oh. Now that I told you my box wouldn't move, and it moves. All right. So kind of how long you want your handles. And get my ribbon scissors. We're just going to tie this in a knot. You know what? I might have glued my other one. So let's look, our lid's there. So we're going to we're going to glue this now. Now that it made me a fibba. And we don't need a whole lot of glue. Just some glue. Stick it back in there. And of course, I stuck my fingers on the glue. So now I'll have glue everywhere. Or everything's going to stick to me. And you could even use tear and tape if you want. So let's put our hot sauces back in there. And then this will just go like that. There's your handle. So what I did is I kind of put my knot in the back and then pulled my handles. So then you don't see the knot in the front. There's our little package. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create our other pieces. Look at all the circles I've cut out because I've made so many of these just practicing. Okay, so we're going to cut out, well, let's do some stamping because we'll do that at the end because we're going to end up having to cut some more. Okay, so we need a campfire, right? Got to have a campfire. We need a chair to sit by the campfire. Maybe I should do it this way. And then we need some trees. Even if you're sitting in the backyard, you still need some trees. So we're going to stamp our big tree. We're going to stamp our little tree. And I'm using so many different stamp sets for this. Because sometimes that's what you need. You need a lot of stamp sets. So this is Blueberry Bushel. And this one is dark. I'm going to do the dark after. And then this is light for our chair. Sometimes you just got to pull out a lot of stamp sets. We're using She's the Greatest, He's the Greatest, Adventure Together, and Notes and Totes. So I colored this one Sloppy. I don't know if you guys seen my pictures of our campfire. It's like a 10-foot ring that we fill up the fire pit with the excavator. So much fun. You cannot, so I'm going to do the dark first. Dark Smoky Slate. I think that's why my voice is still raspy from all the smoke I've inhaled over the past 4 days. Now light Smoky Slate. But that's, you can't, to make s'mores, we have a broomstick with the s'more fork at the end of it. Just because you cannot get near it. It's so hot. But it's so fun to have a big fire. So I'm doing dark pumpkin pie, and I'm just kind of outlining with it because you know that your flames are all different colors. And then I'll fill this in with the light. There's our campfire. Okay, so let's grab this cut and emboss again. And we're going to cut all these trees. See, I got glue stuck on my fingers. the tree, and our chair, and our campfire. Hopefully I didn't stamp them too close. I'm going to tape them down so they don't move, hopefully. The chair. And this one's moving. So I'm going to put that. And let's cut those. Let's move these. We're going to cut our rectangle. So this is from the Nested Essential Dies. This is the largest rectangle, and we're cutting it out in Very Vanilla. All the other things we stamped on basic white because I want them to stand out a little better. Okay, so back to all our pieces that I have all over. Got my magnetic sheet over here to put my dies back on. This campfire, the blue chair. We have blue camping chairs. That's why I made them blue. Okay, so now we're going to use our blending brush and our blueberry bushel. And we're just lightly going to put some color on the top. I wanted it to kind of be like a sky. It goes on very dark, so you could kind of blend off and then onto your paper. Just like so, the blue sky. And that's it. Pretty easy. So now these stamps, You're the Best. We're going to do that in blueberry bushel. We're going to stamp that right here at the top. This is from She's the Greatest. So She's the Greatest has all of these stamps. So see, You're the Best. And then we're going to use Papa, because my grandkids call my husband Papa. Or I already have Papa, but maybe should I put something else out? You know what? I'm going to grab a different one. I'm going to grab Son. How about that? So with these, you can use son, dad, brother, uncle. So we're going to make it with son. But look, even big grandpa, brother, dad, papa, uncle, whatever you want. So we're going to do You're the Best Son. Like somebody I know. And that is that. I'm going to move that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all of these on with dimensionals. So we're going to flip these over. A single one there. A single one here. I have been like non-stop creating today. I have a blog hop on June 1st that I needed to make my project. I needed another project. Me and some friends are coming out with a new let's just say a new adventure. I don't know what to call it, and I probably shouldn't say anything yet. So I had to create that project. And then I'm making a graduation. We have a graduation this weekend, and I'm making a banner using the new banner dies. So I'm not done. I'm not done yet. These ones are going to hang over, but they will stick on the bag. So I had just been non-stop. And then I needed to do the tutorial for today because I had created this before I left camping, but then didn't, oh, you know what I did on this too? Is I put a glue dot just to hold it in place, and because they're going to open it, but you want to make sure that they're lined up. Just add a glue dot just to hold it in place like so. I knew there was something missing. And then this we're going to put right here. I don't think my glue stuck all the way. Well, you know what? Let's slip a glue dot in there. So I guess I didn't get my glue time to dry. Okay, so now we are going to stamp again. Let's get this out of the way on a piece of Very Vanilla. This one says relax and enjoy. And this is from the Notes and Totes. The Notes and Totes stamp set. And in my instructions, it tells you everything right there. Relax and enjoy. I love, love, love this set. Heather, great for the beach house. That's all I'm going to say. Yes, it is Joan. Very nice. So this one, oh, wait. I messed that up. I didn't even notice it. Kind of looks like it's blurry. I guess I must have moved it as I stamped it. So we're going to try again. Get that out of the way. Okay, better. I don't know what I did. I must have rocked it and moved it. So we're just going to use our paper snips and we're just going to cut around. And what I do is I always move my paper and my scissors just go right around. And that way it looks like you're trimming exactly the way it goes. Because just let the paper move. And nobody knows if you have an extra little swirl in there. I hope that this stamp on the back doesn't show up. I don't think so. I could see it now that I'm cutting, but if so, you know me, I'll change it later. So I'm going to turn, make that a rounded corner. Uh-oh. My scissors, they must finally be getting dull. I have had these scissors forever. Okay, I gotta find my mini dimensionals. Not the black ones, the white ones. Is everybody starting to get nice weather? It was crazy. Up at the ranch, we had rain, we had hail. It looked like we were out on the Polarises one day, and I think it was even snowing. It looked like snow. And so we're just going to put that right across like so. And that's it, right? Oh, no, nope, not it. We have to get our neutral sequence, even though it's for a guy, we're still going to add some sequins. So we'll add one here, add a smaller one down here, a big one down here, and a small one over here. There, now we're done. So there you go. Like I said, if you know, these things are a little flimsy because the hole is not big enough, but you know, you could always put a glue dot on the sides of them and it'll hold it in place. So let me show you. Where's my glue dots that I just had? But since the bottom, this is kind of indented, you have to put them here on the edges and then they won't move. And then again, he's gonna have to open it to get them out. Well, he doesn't actually have to open it to get them out, right? You could get them out of the side, but okay, so now look, it's not going to fall out because we put the glue dot in there. So there's today's project, you guys. I hope you like it. Next one, I already have next Wednesday's project, but you know what? It's my husband's birthday, so I already have some plans for him, so I probably won't be live. I'm just going to tell you, more than likely, I'm not going to be live. So I'll get the video pre-recorded and have it ready for you. Okay, everybody. Oh, 83 in Washington today. Nice. A one-day heat wave. Oh, I know that feeling too well, Joan. Too well. But all right, everybody, you guys have a great week. And if you don't have this set, where did I do with it? Or either of these sets, these are my favorite just because of how you can personalize it for somebody. And starting June 3rd, we're actually going to have a sweet buy one, get one 50% off of sweets and then sweet products. And then also today, I don't know if you want to do scrapbooking, but if you want to get scrapbooking, there's a scrapbooking kit. It's quite pricey, but you get a 12-page layout with all the pieces cut, the embellishments, everything. I think there's like 4 stamp sets included. If you have any questions about it, just let me know, and I will get you the information on that. But it's a 3-day event. It's actually, you'll be on a Facebook group, and Stampin' Up! Will teach you each day on the different page layouts. They're 12 pages. Well, 12 months. I think it's 12 months, 2 pages for each month. I'll find out more. If you want to know more, just let me know. All right, everybody. See you next week, and you take care. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.